Alrighty guys, welcome back to the Aussie Grappling Media Podcast. We're back here in Garage. This time not with Rob Hastings. Rob is here doing his bicep curls over there. But we're here with Mark Scott. Mark, how are you?
I'm good.
Good. Now this is a podcast that got requested by a lot of people, namely Rob. Rob was messaging me constantly about this. For those that don't know, you give us a briefer intro on yourself. I feel like you have a very interesting story.
My name's Mark. I'm one of the coaches here at Garage Grappling. I've been doing Jiu-Jitsu for 10 years, always at Garage in Bondi. Before that, I did 10 years of Muay Thai, and before that, I used to play rugby. So I grew up playing rugby in Hong Kong, switched to Muay Thai when I was like 18, and then I moved to Australia, wanted to do something new. I watched, actually the reason I started Jiu-Jitsu was I watched Choke on YouTube, the Hicks and Gracie movie.
That is also one of the reasons I started Jiu-Jitsu. Okay. I remember going through and like fighting Jiu-Jitsu movies and I was like, oh, Choke, okay. Yes,
and I was like, okay. Well, I had done a handful of classes over the years of living in Hong Kong. A lot of my friends were MMA fighters, so I'd sort of train with them. So I'd jump in every now and again, but I never like fully committed to it. And then anyway, watched Choke, got inspired by Hickson, searched Jiu-Jitsu, Bondi Junction. First thing came up was Gracie Barra Bondi. But then I went to my friend Joey from Bulletproof BJJ and asked him, hey bro, where should I train? And he said, I would suggest you go to Garage. So thanks, shout out Joey for recommending Garage to me.
Now we're here.
And now we're here.
So this is the thing I didn't know about you. I remember, I think we were trying to line up a podcast before and you're like, yeah, I think I have an interesting story. And you just randomly like, yeah, I did Muay Thai, I used to play rugby. And I was like, oh, there's so much to the Mark Scott story. So sort of talk us through that. Grew up in Hong Kong?
I moved to Hong Kong when I was 7. I was born in Brunei. And then I lived in Brunei, Singapore, UK, Australia. We basically moved every 2 years when I was a kid. Yeah. And then we settled in Hong Kong and then just kind of stayed there.
Yeah, okay. Damn, I didn't know that. I thought you were born in the UK.
No. I've only lived in the UK for 1 year when I was a kid, and then I went to Cardiff for university for 4 years. Yeah. And then after university, I went back to Hong Kong.
What did you study at uni?
Small and exercise science.
Oh, okay, sick.
So basically, when I finished high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life. So I just thought, I'm just going to pursue sports. I'll do a degree in sports science and just see where it takes me. And at the time, I was playing rugby. So it's called Cardiff Met. It's one of the best rugby universities in the UK. So I went there to play rugby and then was picking up Muay Thai at the same time, kind of did the two, played 1 season of rugby in Wales as a winger in the fucking rain. And then I thought, fuck this, I'm gonna do an indoor sport.
I'm doing an indoor sport that doesn't need the weather. But then, okay, that's interesting. So rugby, what's rugby? What's it like going from rugby to Muay Thai to Jiu-Jitsu? I've seen a lot of guys go from rugby to Jiu-Jitsu. What's rugby to Muay Thai like?
So in Hong Kong, because it's so hot, the rugby season's only 6 months long. Yeah. So I basically needed something to do in the off season. So my older brother suggested we did Muay Thai classes for cardio. So me, my twin brother, my older brother, we all started doing Muay Thai at this gym in Hong Kong. And basically after 2 or 3 months, the coach said to me and my brother, you guys have got to start to fight. And we're like, oh, we're just doing this for cardio, don't really want to do it. And he said, okay, when you go to university in the UK, start fighting there first. And then you come back to Hong Kong, you'll be ready to fight here.
How many Muay Thai fights did you have?
30 in total, 25 amateurs and 5 professional.
Your record was?
In professional, 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses. Yeah. Which is cool. But, it was a kind of, especially in Hong Kong, it's pretty rigged. If you could batter someone, and if you didn't knock them out, it was going to a draw or a decision loss.
I went to, where was I? I was in Thailand last year. It's like my first experience watching like local Muay Thai fights. And I was like, you can clearly tell here that they've got some dude from a village who's like, he's good, but not great. And they've got this like random American dude who just like knocked him out. And I was like, oh, I see what this sport is. I see what it is.
So when I was fighting in the UK, they would match you up very evenly. Like they'd put you as someone about the same level. But in Hong Kong, that was out the window. In Hong Kong, if you're the same weight as someone, that was it. They'd put you against them. Yeah. So you had to be a little bit more cautious.
My phone.
You can get that.
Sorry guys, let's get my phone call mid podcast.
It's a cool experience, Yeah. And then I had to balance the two. So when I was in my 20s, I had to kind of balance the two because obviously rugby, at my peak of playing rugby, I was 80 kilos. Now I'm like 68 to 70, so it's a lot bigger. But then if I had a Muay Thai fight, I'd just basically take 6 weeks off rugby and just focus on Muay Thai. Yeah. And then I kind of try to do the two.
Yeah, I can't imagine 80 kilo Mark Scott.
Yeah, I need to find a photo. But it was hard. I couldn't keep that weight on. It was like unnatural to have to eat fucking loads
constantly,
and I felt like I lost my athleticism, which is like what made me good at rugby. Yeah. So,
that's the thing you just dropped in there as well. I forgot. I didn't know you had a twin brother for ages.
Yeah, I've got a twin brother.
And I kept seeing photos, and I was like, is there 2 Marks in this photo? And then I realized, I was like, oh. So.
Yeah. So I think one of the reasons I became an athlete was because of my twin brother, because he was obviously we're both really passionate about sports, but he was always a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger. He had a better Muay Thai record than me. And then when we were doing Muay Thai, he was doing judo and MMA and Jiu-Jitsu. So he was actually doing Jiu-Jitsu years ago. And I used to hit the bag during the Jiu-Jitsu class and look over and be like, what is that shit that you're doing?
It's good. I don't want to
say that. That is what I thought.
Yeah, so that's crazy. Then from Muay Thai to Jiu-Jitsu, what was the point where you were like, okay, I'm done fighting in Muay Thai. Jiu-Jitsu is the way to go.
So actually, one of the reasons I started Jiu-Jitsu was I did think I wanted to have one MMA fight just to tick it off and say I'd done it.
Yeah.
And then I'd said to myself, okay, when I get a blue belt in Jiu-Jitsu, maybe I'll do an MMA fight. But by sort of halfway through white belt, I just fell in love with Jiu-Jitsu and thought, fuck it, I've been punched and kicked in the face 30 times already. I don't need to do it anymore. Like, to do a Muay Thai and MMA fight, you gotta be super motivated.
Yes, then you can't half-ass a Muay Thai fight. No.
Just because, like, the things that could go wrong are a lot more devastating in a Muay Thai fight or an MMA fight versus a Jiu-Jitsu match. But yeah, then I just switched over. But for the first year I did Jiu-Jitsu, I was still doing Muay Thai once or twice a week because there was a couple boys here who were MMA fighters.
Yeah.
And then they kind of moved on. One of them made their own gym, and then I just kind of stopped practicing it.
Yeah. Where were you training Muay Thai in Sydney?
Just one of the boys here, Sam Anderson, was an MMA fighter. So we used to have boxing bags here as well. So we used to hit the pads, spar, and train together here.
Yeah, sick. And then Jiu-Jitsu now, 10 years now, recently got a black belt.
Yeah.
What was that moment like? I remember, it was funny. The day you got your black belt, I think I was talking to Carl, we were talking about you, and I was like, surely Mark gets his black belt soon. And then I literally finished teaching my gi class, and I think it was a Wednesday night, and I was like, oh, what was that experience like for you?
It was pretty cool. It was actually really fucking cool. Like, I'd always said to the boys, oh, I'm not gonna care, I don't really care. But then when I got it, from Ash gave it to me, it was obviously a surprise. I didn't know I was getting it that day. So that was cool. But the coolest thing was the reaction from everyone else.
Yeah.
Everyone else, pretty much everyone at the gym was here, and everyone sort of cheering, clapping. I got emotional, but other people got very emotional too. Shout out Edie, who did cry. Have it on video. So yeah, that was pretty cool. It was a pretty special moment for me and the team here. So it's cool. Shout out Ash as well.
Did the team know that you were getting it?
I think Gabby knew. I think Ash told Gabby, and that was it. And maybe Ben knew because he was obviously videoing.
No, this is funny. Ben actually didn't know.
Oh, okay.
So Ben said to me, he was like, I was there. He was obviously filming for the Ash class, and he was like, no one told me. And he's like, and then out of nowhere, he's like, oh shit. And he's like, I think Ash was already mic'd up, and he's like, luckily Ash was, because he's like literally scrambling to find his camera. So he actually didn't know at all.
Okay.
You're Ash Williams black belt. How does that feel?
It's cool. He's someone I really look up to, really respect. We've had this relationship with Ash here for the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Basically, the first ever Subversion, when he came over, Gabby brought him here for a seminar. We were training here. I remember I was paying him for privates to get some extra training in with him. And then it was when I fought Jun, I asked Ash to corner me. And then, he just kept in contact. He came back a couple of times. And then, last year I went and trained with him. Went to his place for 5 weeks.
The Jiu-Jitsu capital of the world?
The Jiu-Jitsu capital of the world. Lived in his house with Bobby, trained with him, and then, it's cool.
What is it like when you sort of see, Ash has been around the game for a long time.
Yeah.
You're living with a dude who's been doing this for a long time. What is that sort of like? Is it a cool experience? Did you learn a lot?
Yeah, definitely. It was a cool experience. I feel like the biggest thing I got away from training with Ash was he reminded me that I'm meant to be a professional athlete. I'm meant to behave like a professional athlete. He was making me log all my food every day, track my calories, track my protein. That's something I'm still doing nowadays. The other thing was I spam training. I trained 3-4 times a day sometimes. And then Ash wrote a training schedule. He was like, we had red days and green days. So red days where we're going hard, training twice a day, lifting weights. And then we'd have an easy day, a day where you're just training once, you're just rolling with the white and blue belts, taking it easy. That was something I learned from him, to sort of have this back and forth in my training instead of just going hard all the way until the end of the week.
I think that's something I've noticed about Ash through I think me and Ash talk not all the time, but every now and then he posts something I agree with. He's very it seems like he's very methodical about how he does things, and he's got a very like you say, a very athlete's approach. And it's very rare that you get that from a jiu-jitsu athlete where they're all in. A lot of the time, we just come here, like you said, I come here, train hard twice a day, and then at the end of the week, you're like, why am I so fucked? And then once you look at that schedule, it's a pretty cool thing that he did. What was the level like over in Wales when you were training there? Is Wales sort of one of those, I think I spoke to Gavin about, it's kind of like a bit of a unknown. There's like heaps of killers there, but people just don't know who they are.
Yeah, so Ash had only opened his gym a couple months before. So there was basically like 4 or 5 black belts, me and Bobby, and a bunch of white belts. But the 4 or 5 black belts who were there were fucking killers.
Yeah.
There was Ash, his twin brother, he's also a twin, his twin brother Josh. Black belt called Jamie, who's Welsh. A black belt called Tom, an American guy. And then we had like some brown belts from his brother's gym would come and train with us. We had this brown belt from England come down and train with us a couple times as well. So yeah, so it was pretty intense, the training. You know, like I was, apart from Ash, I was the smallest guy there. And it was fucking Tom, Jamie, Bobby, Josh. It was really, really intense training.
What's the experience living with Bobby Sandu like?
That could be a whole podcast on it. Like I did a post one day and I said, Bobby Sandu was the roommate I never knew I needed. Like me and Bobby knew each other. You know, we're friendly, but we weren't tight friends. And then suddenly we spent 5 weeks living in a flat smaller than these men. So we obviously got to know each other pretty well.
How did that trip come about? How did it end up that you and Bobby were like, we're going to go to Wales for 5 weeks?
So I was considering, we're just waving to Rob in the background. I was considering to go to Thailand to train at Bang Tao before Worlds. And then Ash had put a post up saying that he needed a training partner and someone who'd come teach the kids classes. So we started meshing back and forth. And he was like, yeah, bro, you should come. And I was like, fuck, should I go? And I was like, fuck it. And I just spoke to Gabby. She obviously gave me the offer. She was keen to go. And then I went in, I flew to England, met Ash at the airport. He drove me. He had like a seminar tour, and then the last spot was Leeds, and Bobby was coming to the seminar. Funny story, Bobby went to the seminar. For the first time in his life, he went somewhere early, but he was 24 hours early. The seminar was Saturday, and he went there on Friday. So then anyway, the next day, Bobby turns up to the seminar late, and then Ash basically said to him, what are your plans for the next few weeks? And he was like, oh, I've got 2 more weeks in the UK. And Ash said, okay, come with me, share the room with Mark. There's 2 beds. And then Bobby ended up changing his flight so he could stay the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I remember like looking and I was like, it's a very not random. It was like not 2 people I expected to like live together. Bobby and you. It's like
me and Bobby have known each other for a long time.
Yeah. Bobby's one of those guys who's been around forever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we were talking about earlier, you heard so many stories. The big thing Bobby I found, he'll tell a story, but he finds it funny. So he doesn't quite finish the story. He's laughing. You mentioned Thailand. You were recently over at Bang Tao. What was that experience like? You got to teach over there.
Yeah, that was sick. So firstly, I'll talk about Thailand. So since the age of, I can't remember, I was 18 or 19 the first time I went to Thailand. So when I was doing Muay Thai, I'd go to Thailand, do camps. So I'd go do a 2-week Muay Thai camp in Thailand and then normally fight back in Hong Kong. So the first time I went to Thailand was, I went to Chiang Mai, which is like North Thailand.
Yeah, I went there last year, it's sick.
I went to a place called Ubon Ratchathani, which is like really North Thailand. It's like the Isan area.
Yeah.
Ubon Ratchathani, that's when I was 19 or 20, to train at a gym called Legacy Gym with a guy called Ole Lawson, who at the time was this like, fuck, I don't want to say the name. He might be Swedish or something like that, but at the time he was one of the top Muay Thai guys. Yeah. So went and trained at his gym, went back to Hong Kong, and then I remember there was one year for Christmas and New Year's Eve, I went to Bangkok to train at Ket Ponteep Gym. That's another famous Muay Thai gym. Went back to Hong Kong, and then that's when I got my Thai tattoo. I got a Sakyan tattoo on my shoulder, just because I spent so much time there, training there. Anyway, and then I went to Phuket a couple of times for Muay Thai as well. And then last year and this year I went to Bang Tao, just because I heard so much about it. Some of the other boys had been here before, so I went there and trained. Loved it. Really like Alex. Shout out Alex.
Alex is a very cool dude.
Yeah. And then on this trip I was there training. I was there for holiday and training camp. Actually, shout out Subversion and Grapple Mania. I used the money I made from my last 2 fights to pay for my trip there.
Sick.
So that's why if you see the last Grapple Mania I was so amped up, it's because I knew I'd got the money.
You knew you'd made the money to go to Thailand.
To go to Bang Tao. And then anyway, on my last day there, Alex came up to me. He was like, oh, what are you doing? When are you leaving? And I was like, oh yeah, I'm leaving tonight. And he goes, oh, that's a shame because I need some classes covered over the next few days. And I was like, wait, hang on, what do you say?
What did you say?
And he was like, yeah, if you're available, could you cover the classes? And I was like, give me 30 minutes, phone up Jetstar, switch my flights, and then I was able to teach a Monday evening class and a Tuesday lunchtime class, which was fucking awesome. Like I said to all the guys here, like honestly, out of all the competitions I've won, I'd say that's the highlight of my jiu-jitsu career, being able to have that opportunity to teach at a gym that, you know,
it's like a world-renowned,
world famous. And the class there is like 30 people from all around the world. You've never met them before.
Yeah.
And you kind of put on the spot. It's really loud there, so you kind of have to.
It's so loud.
Yeah.
I remember. So I was over there in Thailand like this time last year, and I remember like for the whole time I was like any time I go to Thailand, it's like I need to go to Bang Tao. And you like come down that road towards Bang Tao, and I was like, dude, this like. Grab driver's taking me like to the middle of nowhere, and you just turn around and there's these like 4 warehouses. And I remember calling my dad afterwards. So my dad's like, what was Bang Tao like? I was like, dude, if I didn't have like other commitments, I was like, I would just stay here for a month. It was like the coolest experience. Teaching in Thailand, guys from all over, is that something you want to do more? Teaching overseas, teaching like traveling, teaching, obviously you're going to travel, compete, but traveling and teaching, is that a big bucket list item for you?
Yeah, I would love to, you know, like obviously I'm one of the main coaches here at Garage. I teach like 20 classes a week, and I'm really attached to my students here, really like teaching here. But if there were opportunities to do something like that, like teach a couple of classes or something like that, I'd be definitely down. Like,
if you own a gym overseas and you want Mark Scott to teach classes for you, hit him up.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, Thailand, it was pretty cool, especially in Thailand, because to me, it's sort of the martial arts capital of the world.
Yeah,
you know, like, everyone grows up. Like when I was in the UK doing Muay Thai, people would save money all year just to go train in Thailand for 2 months, you know? But in those 2 months, you'd level up so much, especially in Muay Thai, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like for Jiu-Jitsu, I felt like, you know, you're there, you're not working, you're just training, eating, going to sleep, going to the beach.
Yeah.
Maybe going to Bangalore Road once or twice a week, but you know.
Yeah, I don't know what Bangalore Road is. I never went there. But I was on the phone to someone today. That's a wild place.
Yeah.
I was like getting memories from like being there a year ago, and I was like, Bangalore Road is.
I've got the best video on my phone when me and Nick went to Bangalore Road last year, and it just happens to be when we got there, 2 guys were having a street fight, but it was like a full-on Muay Thai street fight. Like one guy's throwing low kicks, one guy's doing clinch knees, and everyone was cheering as if it was a Muay Thai fight.
Dude, so I was in the funniest story of Thailand. We were in there's a massive nightclub on Bangalore Road called Illusion. It's like the 9th best nightclub in the world or something. It's a cool place. But I remember turning around and these 2 Thai dudes were just like ripping into this bloke. And I turned around, I was like, what happened? He was talking to my girlfriend, but literally like, it was like a full Muay Thai fight, and the security just stood back. And then when it got to a point, they grabbed the dude and they're like, all right, boys, stop here. But no, Thailand was a wild place. Things coming up for you, a few big things coming up. Subversion.
Yep.
Talk us through that. It's a pretty sick match in my eyes.
Subversion, yeah, I'm fighting Ron. I don't know his surname, I'm sorry. Ron from Kumite.
Ron, I'm going to butcher
it.
Guilidas, I think. I've definitely just butchered that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he fought Ryan from Garage Wollongong before. I don't remember the fight at all.
I think he did. He fought.
So, this is something I learned from Ash a few years ago. I don't focus on my opponents anymore. I just focus on myself and what I do in my training. Like I used to watch up my opponent, look at matches on Flow Grappling. Now I don't fucking bother. The only thing I want to know is, are they going to wrestle or pull guard? I think that's the only relevant piece of information. You know, other than that, I just focus on my own training. So yeah, I'm fighting Ron, cutting 66 kilos. I'm on track. Yeah, I'm excited for, I feel like I'm on a bit of a roll. I've won a bunch of fights. I won a bunch of competitions. So yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go out there and put on a show.
I didn't realize you have a long history with Subversion.
Yeah.
And I think I was doing my breakdown for the last Subversion, and Matt Morris was pretty good with the whole thing actually. He was sending me a bunch of stuff, and he sent me over, and it was your record, and I was like, I forgot you had that many matches on there.
Yeah.
And because there's a lot of them were during COVID, right?
Yeah.
In the sub-city days.
Yeah. Because I come from Muay Thai and playing competitive rugby, it's just normal for me to compete. So literally I did my first jiu-jitsu competition after 2 weeks of training. I came here, I trained for a week, and obviously I was new to Sydney, didn't know anyone. All the boys here were going, it was like Autumn Cup or some shit. All the boys were going to the comp, they said, oh, come with, you're not doing anything. So I went and watched it, and I was like, oh, this is it. You just tap, the fight's over.
Yeah.
And then I was like, when's the next one? They're like, oh, there's a grappling industries next week. And I said, fuck it, I'll do it.
Do it.
So after 2 weeks of training, I had 5 matches at grappling industries, lost all 5. I loved it. Competed again the next week, and just kept going. So anyway, so with Subversion, I've always known Matt and George. I remember the very first Subversion at the Roundhouse. There was a purple belt from Legacy who needed a match. and I was a blue belt at the time, and I was like, yeah, I'll fight him. And they're like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, fuck it. So I fought him. I did lose that match, but I did almost land a flying triangle 10 seconds into the match, which was funny because I told everyone I was going to do it. And then, yeah, after that, I fought on Sub-City 1 against Varun. So again, like Varun, I think that was the year he won Blue Belt Worlds. He won it later in the year. So like it was a tough match, but I knew Varun. But my mindset was always, I'm going to get better at jiu-jitsu by fighting the best people possible.
Yes.
So I fought Varun, we had a draw, and then I had a bunch of other fights on Subversion. I fought Ricky Pachon. That was fucking funny because...
You fought Ricky Pachon?
Yeah.
At what weight did you fight Ricky?
So they did an 88 kilo qualifier, and I was like, well, I want to be on the show.
Actually, no, now you say that, I remember this. I do remember that.
Yeah, they didn't invite me for a match, and I was like, well, I want to be on the show. And then there was an 88 kilo qualifier in the gi, and I was like, I'm pretty confident in the gi, so I'll put my name in. And then I get there, I think it was at King's Academy. I swear Ricky Pachon is killing himself in the sauna to get to 88. So we both get into the final, and then we have the match. I think I lost on decision, I guess. I lost on decision to him. But it was a crazy fight, but fuck it. You know, with the weight difference, I thought, what was there to lose? I'll just do the match.
Yeah.
Also, shout out, it's a way to get a free ticket, guys. You just fight on the show.
Just fight on the show. It's it's a really good way of getting a free ticket.
So, and then another one I had was Ali Al-Kahir. So that was obviously a fucking tough match. They offered me Ali. I was meant to fight someone else, and the other guy pulled out. So like, you can fight Ali, and I was like, well, same thing. I was like, fuck it, why not? You know, we'd both just got our brown belts. It was a tough match. I felt competitive against him, and then he heel hooked me. But again, like, to me, this is all part of the journey. To me, fighting below black belt was on the journey to get to a black belt. So like wins, losses, draws, whatever. It's part of the journey. I'm not going to be upset and cry about it. It's like, you know, you're out on the stage getting paid, fighting. Fuck it.
It's all about, like, I think it was someone said that to me. I remember like losing a comp. I think it was Carl. He was like to me, it's like, dude, up until black belt, no one gives a shit. He's like, do you remember what Gordon was doing at blue belt, purple belt? And I was like, no. And I was like, oh, it's all part of the plot. What was it like though, that moment? And I was actually working at the show. Last Subversion, was it Last Subversion? Yeah, Last Subversion, you get the win on the stage.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like in the moment?
Yeah, obviously I was G'd up because apart from the draw with Varun, I'd lost a bunch of fights on decision. So there's some of those decisions pretty close. But yeah, you know, obviously I was G'd up. But again, it's more that the boys and the girls in the gym are there. I feel like that's what G'd me up, you know, like no, if it was a grappling industries and I beat the same guy, I'm not going to react the same way. But it's just a cool moment because everyone's there, and obviously I performed pretty well, you know. It was a cool experience.
It was a cool moment.
It made up for all the tough matches that I lost or razor close decisions, you know?
Yeah. So, I remember like being in the back and seeing you win, and you just had this like, you were so happy, and I was like, damn, that would be a cool moment after like all of these roadblocks and hurdles. You're like, to finally get that win. I think we had spoken the lead up, and you're like, the biggest thing is like, I don't care if I lose, but I was like, that win is going to be like, feel great.
Yeah. But honestly, by the time I lost a couple, I'm like, well, fuck it. You're not going to. What's another loss? Who cares, you know? But I think that is you know, something that blue belts coming up should know, you know, like fuck, just because you lose a Grapplemania super fight, you shouldn't fucking quit. Like, it's just part of the journey, bro. And also, anyone who's a competitor knows, you know, they understand the game, you know? I think it's more inspiring to be out there and fight than to be scared to compete because you don't want to ruin your fucking image. To what, your 200 Instagram followers? Like, who gives a fuck? I think, I'm very passionate about competing, and I do also think, I know it's controversial, I do think coaches should compete. You know, I think you're teaching a fucking sport, you know? We're not teaching self-defense. You're teaching a sport, you should participate in the sport, even at a low level. You know, like I know, you know, you see me and Edie, we're trying to chase the highest level possible, but anyone can do a fucking grappling industries. Like, come on.
It's actually funny, an old garage student, Elliot, who runs Grapple Strike Move. Elliot Taylor, is it?
Oh, yes, cool. So Elliot,
Elliot, I remember after I lost on Subversion, I was like so depressed for like, I don't know why. I had like put so much into it, and looking back on it now, my prep was terrible. I remember him coming up to me and he's like, I haven't seen you training well. I was like, yeah, like, I really hate jiu-jitsu after Subversion. He turned around to me, he's like, grow the fuck up. He's like, do you think Dave doesn't want to quit off every time he loses? Because Dave was teaching at the time. But it's like I think it's a cool thing. It's like one bit of knowledge as a coach, if you can pass on to your students. I think you'll agree that it's at the end of the day, who cares? In 5 years' time, like no one's gonna like give a fuck really. And it's cool to actually hear. I've heard it from multiple people now. For you to say it as well, it's cool that everyone's got this mindset that like it's the end of the day, it's all fun.
Yeah.
You know. Brought up Edie. What's it been like having someone who's so good and coming up and having a good training partner? I see you guys coming here and you guys like have wars with each other. What's it been like having that training partner? You're both pushing each other the whole time.
Yeah, you know, Edie's probably my closest training partner. You know, I'm her coach. I'd say I am her coach essentially, but I do see her more as a training partner. She joined the gym. It's her birthday today. Happy birthday!
It is actually.
So she joined the gym when she was 15. Now she's 21, or maybe she was 16 or whatever. So it's like 5-6 years we've been training together, pushing each other, going to competitions. You know, whenever I compete, you'll see Edie will always be in my corner.
Yeah.
You know, we have a pretty close bond. And it's cool, you know, it's very, any of the sports I've always done, I've always had a training partner. I think it's really important to have a training partner who's going on that journey with you, who can push you. And, you know, sometimes you don't want to compete and your training partner's competing, so you're like, oh, fuck it, I'll do it too.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out Edie. You know, she's a great girl. She's a really good mindset. Yeah, I've really enjoyed competing. You know, we've competed all around Australia together. Hopefully later this year, we're going to go to Nogi Worlds together.
Sick.
And that'll be another cool thing to sort of tick off.
Yeah. And then sort of, you just mentioned looking post-subversion, any big plans competition-wise, Nogi Worlds, black belt debut at Nogi Worlds?
Definitely. So I'll do Pan Pacs black belt
Yeah.
and Nogi Worlds black belt. And then, you know, any super fights along the way. You know, I love fighting for money. You know, I think honestly, like,
We're all jiu-jitsu coaches.
when I was in Muay Thai, like I had a really good coach in the UK, and he used to say to us, you can only fight full contact if you get paid. You know,
Yeah.
it is a full contact sport. We are putting our health at risk.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I do enjoy the fact that I'm now in a position where I can demand a small amount of money for my matches.
Yeah.
So so I love Grapplemania, I love Subversion, maybe Arcane with Rob, who knows? But yeah, I might do some random grappling industries, something like that. But yeah, I generally my whole career I've competed once a month, and I've pretty much kept that going from white belt through to black belt. So I'll try to compete every month up until Nogi Worlds.
Yeah, sick. Sort of a few quick fire questions. This is my favorite. Rob Hastings had a question that he passed on. This was supposed to be for Jake, but I haven't been able to film with Jake. I'm going to add this is going to be one of my new questions. He was like, what is your shower time routine?
My shower time routine. So I shower 5 or 6 times a day.
Yeah, you just said this actually.
Like I shower, I wake up in the morning, I shower, come teach the 7 a.m. class, go home and shower. I have breakfast, I have a nap, I'll shower after my nap, I'll come teach the class, go shower again. And then, anyway, so that's my shower routine, Rob.
7 times a day.
But I use antibacterial soap, and I use my rest round spray every time I train so I don't get staph.
Yep.
I think it's pretty important to stay clean. And also as a coach, I think it's really embarrassing if you're teaching a class and you smell.
Yeah.
So at least you should be clean before the class starts.
What was it? The other one, dream match. No limitations here.
Oh, I have 2. I've got 2.
Okay, you've got 2.
I've got 2. Okay. The first time, at brown belt. So at brown belt, I only did no-gi.
Yeah.
And then some of the boys were going to Gi Masters Worlds. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to sign up. And I thought Mighty Mouse was going to be in my division, but I didn't realize he was Masters 2 and I was Masters 1. But I actually wanted that match. I wanted to go and get matched up with Mighty Mouse first. So he's the first dream match.
In the gi or no gi?
Oh, he was only doing gi, so it would have to be in the gi.
In the gi.
But I don't think he's still competing in jiu-jitsu anymore. But if he wants to compete at Nogi Worlds, let's do it. Mighty Mouse, let's run it.
Subversion?
Second one, fucking Mikey Musumeci. He's fighting fucking dweebs in UFC BJJ. Come on, let's run it.
And then the best bit of advice you've been given, either for you it's probably gonna be interesting because it could come from Muay Thai, it could come from rugby, but the best bit of advice you've been given as an athlete.
My Muay Thai coach back in the day was a guy called Lee Power in Wales. Lee said, if you're winning all your fights, you're not fighting the right people. And that was the mindset that our whole team had. He said if he had to choose between one of our guys getting an easy matchup or hard matchup, he'd always give them the harder matchup.
Yeah.
Because like as a coach, you're meant to think of LTAD, long-term athletic development. So long-term athletic development, it's better to fight the tougher opponent and get better over time.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people in jiu-jitsu are short-sighted with that. They travel to fucking Grappling Industries Canberra to get some easy matches, or fucking Newcastle Open, rather than going to where's the toughest guys, where's the toughest matches available to me.
Yeah. My new one, I just thought of this. Do you think we are at the peak of Australian Jiu-Jitsu right now, or have we got Are we just at the start
No
of it?
way, yeah, we're just at the start.
You reckon we're just at the start? Okay,
definitely.
interesting.
I feel like it's a really exciting time to be involved in jiu-jitsu, especially in Australia. Like, so when I moved to Australia as a sports coach, so I've always been a coach and a personal trainer, I was attracted to move to Australia because I felt like here people thought it was a proper job. Whereas in the UK, if you were a sports coach, people kind of thought that was a fucking bullshit job.
Yeah.
You know, but in Australia, you can make a legit career out of it.
Yeah.
So I think it's just the tip of the iceberg.
Just tip of the
Like
iceberg.
you see the Aussie guys doing really well overseas. You see like, people like India, Rigsby, people have come up in the Sydney jiu-jitsu scene.
Yeah.
Thiago Ortiz is now killing it. Ollie as well, killing it internationally. Yeah. I think that this is just the start,
Yeah. I've got two more. What was I? If you could go back and tell your white belt self something, what would you tell? What would you tell white belt Mark?
Don't spaz, bro. Chill out.
Chill out. And before we wrap up, any shout outs for you? Any brands we want to shout out?
So firstly, shout out Garage Grappling.
Yes, shout out Gabby for letting us film here.
Shout out Gabby, the gym I work and train at. 10 years I've been here, When I moved to Sydney, I had no friends. This is my family.